Hello everyone, welcome back to USA National Security News. This is Charlie Chan. Today's topics include why the PRC China supports Russia. Bill Maher warns the American people to beware of socialism. Should Pearl S. Buck's Nobel Prize in Literature really belong to China? Who are the real Americans? American socialists will launch a counterattack in the 2028 presidential election. ICE revokes green cards of anti-American individuals. Helping authoritarian countries achieve democracy is greatly beneficial to the United States. President Trump reconciles with Mamdani. Sydney Sweeney denies endorsing racism. Taiwan not being invaded is Japan's red line, the greatest threat facing Western civilization.
According to an article by Patrick Drennan, published on Real Clear Defense, China has shifted from neutrality to actively supporting Russia in Ukraine. Initially, they presented a peace plan, but now they're providing military aid. We're talking about significant support, including drones and guidance systems. Trade between China and Russia is set to exceed $4 billion in 22 and 24. Chinese drones, like the Mavic series, are crucial for Russia's military efforts. In return, Russia shares advanced technology, but China often reverse engineers it. This relationship is economically beneficial for both sides. Russia exports $240 billion worth of goods to China, including cars and electronics. By 2025, millions of tons of crude oil will flow from Russia to China. China gains resources and strategic alliances, especially against the US, while positioning China to exploit Russia's weakened state for geopolitical leverage, particularly in the Pacific and Taiwan.
Here's capitalist South Korea at night from space. Here's socialist North Korea. Yeah. In 1990, Venezuela was wealthier than Poland. But then Poland, finally free of Soviet-style economics, went all in on capitalism. And now their economy is as big as Japan. And people there have high wages, low inflation, cars, vacations, homes. Meanwhile, Venezuela traded capitalism for Hugo Chavez's Socialism for the 21st Century, which turned out to be like socialism in the last century, or any century, a fucking mess. It turned one of Latin America's richest countries into one of its poorest. Low wages, high inflation, shortages, outages, 8 million people fleeing. If you think New York can somehow reinvent this wheel, you're in for a rude awakening. Zoran can't make your wishes come true. You're thinking of Zoltar.
1938 Nobel went to Pearl S. Buck. Some say this prize is China's. She had Chinese citizenship, wrote Chinese stories, loved Chinese culture, and get this, awarded during Japan's invasion of China global solidarity. But hold on, she was born in the US, to American parents. Her core, American values, individualism, universal human rights. She wrote about China through an American lens. Impressive, but not Chinese. Whose prize is it? Battle in the comments. Ilhan Omar, AOC, and Secretary of State Rubio appeared in a news story, engaging in a striking conflict due to their differing positions. Secretary of State Rubio, as a descendant of Cuban immigrants, is furious at the Somali and the Puerto Rican for their insufficient loyalty to the United States. Anyone can become an America, read US laws and history, and you get this impression from these three politicians. To varying degrees, they are all recent immigrants or descendants of immigrants, and of different races. Interestingly, every American citizen claims to be fighting to defend this set of laws and history, even though their positions are completely opposite. Capitalizing the discontent of the poor to promote democratic socialism will be the left's trump card in the next US presidential election. Whether this strategy succeeds will depend on how President Trump manages to discredit Mamdani's socialist experiment in New York City over the next 3 years. In any case, the majority of blacks and Muslims are very difficult for the right to win over, so as I always say, poor whites are the key. Non-Muslim Asians are also a persuasive demographic. Sima Nan, a Chinese celebrity who has lived in the United States for a long time while playing the role of an anti-American propagandist, recently had his US green card revoked by ICE. This has delighted many PRC Chinese netizens. There are many people around the world who are anti-American yet live in the United States. Their shameless excuse is, being anti-American is my job. Living in America is my life. Those who worship the United States as a beacon of freedom are struggling in hardship, while those who constantly bash America in the media enjoy a luxurious life in the US. This indeed leaves pro-American people speechless. America is not perfect, but it is currently the best country in the world bar none. One of America's strengths, which is also one of its weaknesses, is its inclusiveness. This is not only the source of America's wealth, power, and innovation, but also allows many bad actors and people with ulterior motives from around the world to infiltrate the country.
Are you affirming that you think President Trump is a fascist?
I've spoken about...
That's okay, you can just say yes.
Okay, all right.
Okay? It's easier. It's easier than explaining it. I don't mind.
Is Sydney Sweeney mixed race? No. Sydney Sweeney is not mixed race. Her ancestry is entirely European Caucasian, primarily, father's side, Scottish and Irish mother's side, German, English, Welsh, with a small amount of Dutch. She has mentioned in multiple interviews that her family is mainly of Scottish, Irish, and German descent, with no mention of any non-European ancestry such as Asian, Latin, African, etc. Her parents and younger brother also have typical Northern or Western European white features. So strictly speaking, Sydney Sweeney is white Caucasian. She is not mixed race in the usual sense of the term. Like many American white people, she has a mix of several European ethnicities, but that is not considered mixed race. Authoritarian countries will not allow their people to become wealthy, because once the people have sufficient resources, they will have the power to overthrow the authoritarian rule. In other words, only democratic countries can possibly provide the massive consumer markets that Western countries hope to see in many large population nations. Therefore, helping the people of authoritarian countries escape authoritarian rule is highly profitable for Western countries that possess enormous advantages in technology and commerce.
Craig Singleton published an article in the New York Times on December 2, 2025, stating that Japan's new PM declared a Chinese attack. Blockade on Taiwan threatens Japan's survival, enabling overseas deployments and signaling readiness to defend Taiwan. Beijing's fierce reaction shows its isolation strategy is failing. As allies treat Taiwan's security as shared, China may escalate gray zone tactics, trade pressure, and cyber attacks, increasing miscalculation risks, with Japan hardening its stance, and the US backing Taiwan militarily. Coordinated allied deterrence and crisis planning are now critical.
In fact, almost all the important thinkers of the American left and communism were non-Anglo-Saxons. This is an interesting coincidence. It means that the ethnic conflicts and competition in Old World Europe were brought to the New World in a covert form. Historically, the Germanic conquest of the Romans actually led to a regression in civilization. In other cases, competition between European ethnic groups has actually been one of the driving forces behind the strength of Western civilization today. Why were the Germanic peoples able to conquer the Romans on such a large scale? My personal opinion is that it was asymmetric warfare. All large-scale conquests in history were asymmetric warfare. The Germanic peoples must have mastered some kind of warfare technology or strategy that the ancient Romans could not counter through their contact with the Huns. Today, the biggest threat to Western countries is not the struggle between Christian countries, but the combination of the left, Muslims, and communism to attack traditional Christian capitalist civilization.